Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast. We are episode 80, still not cancelled, and we're full of the rich. If you paid attention to last week's episode of the podcast, welcome on in. It's been a random ass week. I tell you what, we've got a lot of stuff happening on in the background. We had people sort of turn up only 5 minutes ago to jump on the podcast because other people just went MIA after talking about being on the podcast for weeks. It's just normal podcast stuff, people. It's great. And we promise that Shelby's not going to try and start any kind of movement today. But, sometimes promises get broken.
You'll definitely come across a lot of creeps.
Where have all these cancelable opinions?
You guys keep boots at 60 feet.
No, it's a picture of my boots. That's it. That's the title of the podcast. They're rock hard.
That's great advice.
All right, welcome. Holy cow. Welcome on in, everybody. We are joined today by Shelby's Eyeballs.
Hi.
Tame's here as well.
What's up?
And Koshi's not AI generated eyeballs.
Real eyeballs.
Actual
only eyeballs.
Real eyeballs. Yes.
Hello.
Welcome on in, everybody, to another week, another podcast. It kind of feels weird. I don't know what you guys have been up to, but I feel like between work and I haven't done anything else really. So then it kind of feels like it's just been a week since the last podcast. It's the weekend.
My week's been fucked, but it's like, because obviously there's been bad stuff that happened at my work this week, but also I was unproductive as heck because of it. I just literally sat on my computer at work playing Minesweeper for like 8 hours a day. I'm very good at Minesweeper.
You really shouldn't admit that.
It's fine. Nobody from work listens to this podcast except for one girl, but she quit already. So
okay. Well, that's okay then, because I've heard Shelby admit a few things to work, which she really shouldn't. The other one is that she uses the AI to write her emails.
No, that's fine.
Nice.
That's actually fine because the founders of our company were also using AI and writing about it in Slack. So we were like, okay, if they can use AI, I can use AI.
Well,
so
what do they need you for then? They got AI.
Well, I need to be there to write the inputs to the AI, to ChatGPT, and tell it what I want it to do. So I've got job security. So I told all of my colleagues how to use ChatGPT.
Oh,
No, you keep that shit to yourself.
Exactly.
But I have good sound reasoning as to why, because for context for people listening, obviously everyone here kind of knows, but my company fired 20% of their workers this week. So
they replaced them with AI, right?
Shut up. Yeah, well, yeah. They want us to raise our profits to like an extra 35%. But how can we achieve that extra 35% with 20% less people? So it's kind of the number. I've got to even the scale somehow. I'm just going to teach people about robots, That's how it is this week.
That's a job title, isn't it? It's going to be a job title in like 2 years' time. Like, not even
AI
that.
wrangler. That's me.
Yeah, it's going to be like, before it was like professional Google foo, or like, you add it as a skill to your resume to Google problems or translate into actionable solutions. But now it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, remember when you'd be like, I know how to use a computer was something you put on the resume. It's like, now you kind of have to put on there if you don't know how to use a computer.
LinkedIn does like little quizzes and stuff that you can do to put the certification badges on your profile. And there are already some about AI, like chat-based AIs and stuff.
Yeah, I saw
you can get I can talk to ChatGPT badge tick.
I saw a really good take on it, and it's like all the people that are complaining that AI is coming for their job and taking off, and then this guy's like, yeah, well, you face it, no one's job is going to be the same in 5-10 years anyway. So if you're not looking to innovate and grow and change, then you're screwed regardless. So you can't just sit there and go, tech get jobs. It doesn't work that way. Just fucking start embracing it. But I know through my workplace is basically construction. Let's say the construction side of things, right?
We're both in that.
No, but mine's not the technology side because they don't believe in IT. We make things out of.
Oh no, yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
we make things out of wooden nails. That's it. We don't what is this computer? But they don't know nothing about AI. Like I said ChatGPT, and then people are like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, oh really? So they guess who started writing emails with ChatGPT?
It is getting better though. That's the thing. It's gotten to the stage now. We've almost hit that kind of critical mass there of like mass adoption. It's just there are people like those laggards that sit behind that are just have no idea. But a lot of the population knows at least something about those AI tools.
They will see the front, like they'll see the user facing side of things, which is now that because ChatGPT just released their latest API access, which is dirt cheap for what it is, which means that everyone's going to be using it. And the way that they use it as examples of what it's going to be is like you'll go to do your groceries and you can just say, yo, I want to have a chicken dish, but I'm sick of butter chicken. And the AI will go, hey, have you tried this dish before? We've got all the ingredients here. They're actually on special. Would you like them added to your cart? And you go, yes. And it's done. That will be ChatGPT doing it. But a normal person's not going to know that that's an AI talking to them. They're going to think, wow, computers are smart. But they're not going to realize.
My favorite AI moment of this week, because like there's new AI stuff coming out every week and we talk about it all the time, but there's a guy on TikTok who is letting ChatGPT generate him cocktail recipes and he's making them and trying them. So the other day I saw him do a pasta water cocktail. So he's cooking pasta, he has to get the water out and mix it with a bunch of ingredients, but he actually said it actually was quite nice and like salty but like sweet. It was really good, and he garnished it with a piece of like coiled up pasta as well. He was like, this is too good. He also did one that was like a grandma's cocktail.
I saw that
was
one.
like,
yeah,
that was like sherry and port and stuff like that.
That
and
sounded
like
alright though.
A Werther's original on top.
Yeah.
Of course, I was about to ask.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And so there's like fun. I like seeing people do fun things with AI.
Yeah, and I think
that's cool. That's cool.
It's early stage, and I think there was I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube the other weekend, right? And I posted a couple things that were great breakdowns. But one of the greatest lines in one of these YouTube breakdowns was, in a gold rush, you don't make gold, you make shovels. And it's like, well, it's a fucking AI rush, so you want to be making all the stuff that uses this technology. You don't want this to be out there going, I'm going to create my own AI because it's going so well right now. It's like, you don't need to do that. Just use what's there. And
it is the thing, right? It's like you need to start providing a service that uses that technology. It's no one cares about WordPress. WordPress, it's like, you use those sites, but what you do is you use those other technologies,
so it'll be
hashtag not sponsored, and then they can just build a site for you,
legit. And I just think of it like Twitch is a great example, right? If Twitch's data is all hooked in with AI and everything else, you can go in and be like, I've got no one to watch. And you go, well, we've noticed that you've watched this person for 3 minutes, that person for 8 minutes, this person for 2 hours, and these other people play the same games in the same demographic and live in the same country. Maybe you check these. And
they have similar tags.
Oh my god, it's discoverability. It's that thing that Twitch doesn't do.
No, I was going to say, what do you mean? Twitch doesn't do any of that shit. What are you doing?
I have a question. Do you guys use AI at all in your jobs, or have found ways to implement it?
No.
Yeah.
I want to. I think I will be using it in the future because, like ChatGPT especially, just like writing things out that people want things professionally. I'm fine with writing things. It's just I'm also lazy. So I think if I can write something and then at least give me a starting point, I can then mush it into something I'll actually use.
Yeah.
But that's probably the only thing I use so far.
That's good. Yeah. So the thing that I was teaching people how to do is because we write a lot of emails and write a lot of canned responses for projects and things like that to send out to customers. I work in customer success. So that's a fun way of saying I have to hold the hands of every person who buys our product and like guide them towards giving me more money. So the emails, basically, I've been running my emails through ChatGPT and being like, can you make this sound more friendly, like under 300 words, keep the key talking points the same? Can you humanize it? And using those sort of prompts to just reword things to be better, because I'm
hey, Mr. AI, please humanize me.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Hello, Mr. Robot. Please humanize this email that I need to send.
Too robotic, but like it's come out with some great results, and then I just like scanned through it. I'm like, this hits all the talking points. It hasn't changed any of the key points I need to make. It sounds good. It like was including words like top notch, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I send those emails across, and it is saving time, but it's also just like it's like a double checker. It's like spell check and grammar check, but like tone check for me.
I tried to get ChatGPT to write an email as a joke because I was just showing what it can do, and I wanted to say, make sure you call him a silly monkey. And ChatGPT is like, we will never put someone down like that. I'm like, oh
no
okay.
way.
All right then. Sorry, I'm very sorry, Mr. AI, sir.
ChatGPT's got standards. Fuck.
But it's funny. It's funny you mentioned like workplace stuff because my work is very much just data and data is all I play in, right? Everything that needs to happen is very easy to happen, but I need the data to support the actions, right? And anyway, there's so I work in a group, and there's another group and other groups as well, and they all have a version of me in their groups, and there's one in Tassie in particular.
There's multiple Aladis. It's terrifying.
Yeah, right.
I'm scared.
We're the computer nerds. They keep in the closet. They roll out every now and then. Anyway, they're
it's just in zombies in the closet.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
Never coming out. So anyway, there's this one guy, and every now and then, like they'll say, "Hey, can we do this thing? I know that Tassie's doing it. Do you reckon you could touch base with so and so in Tassie and see how they do it?" And he's a robot. He's more AI than the AI. And the way that he
What if
talks
he's
to me.
just like a Python script
No,
written by somebody who's
you
lazy?
can talk to him, but like the way that he speaks to you is less human than fucking the AI speaks to you. And I said this to my coworker who I share a desk with, and she's like, "Nah, you're over." I'm like, "I'll put him on speakerphone. You listen." She was blown away at how robotic this guy is. So I ring him
How
up.
he talks, or just
Like, so it's just like I'm like, "Yeah, hey man, how's it going? It's so and so calling from Melbourne here," and then they're like, "Yep, I know." I'm like, "Yeah." So I was wondering if you could help me with these report stuff. He's like, "I can, yes." I'm like, okay, cool. So what I'm looking for is something that's sort of like this and like that. You're like, well, unless you tell me exactly the function of the report, I'm not able to pull that out for you. I'm like, cool, man. That's excellent.
No small talk.
So what I learned about this guy is he quit, right? And like he's just like, I'm done, don't want to work here. And then they're like, fuck, we need this guy because like all the computers and shit don't work without him. So they went back to him and they said, hey mate, we'll give you a pay rise, everything else. He's like, nah, I'm not working for you anymore. He's like, but I'll bill you for my time. And they're like, okay. So now he charges them. He invoices them by the minute for IT support for the group. And not only that, if I talk to him, he bills them for my time talking to him. So he times my conversations and he asks me when the conversation is over, so he can finish the time and log it and invoice it. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had to ring about reports and stuff like that. And I just want to press a button, report comes out of the computer. So that's it. He does not do that. He does about 30 different reports where he brings out fucking data, puts in an Excel, punches the numbers, do calculations, format. He must spend about 4 hours just in Excel making numbers to give to higher ups who look at it for 3 minutes and throw away. Go, yeah, great, excellent. That's it.
Yep.
Oh.
And I'm just looking at it. Surely I can get an AI to do this. Like this guy's basically an AI, but if I could get an actual AI and just go numbers out, AI make magic here, and then I'm done. Go home, done. Surely. So that's what I'm holding out for when AI can do that.
Well, you can already get a ChatGPT plugin for Google Sheets now, if you haven't seen that. So that's new, and it has a bunch of new functions, so it's worth looking into that.
Now the trick is
that was new that came out. There's also like robotic process automation as well. So like not necessarily AI, but you know, things that if you're doing repetitive tasks, like a lot of spreadsheet management do and a lot of data input and stuff like that.
Fuck it, me.
Yeah, right. So what you can do is you can build a bot that will recognize those pieces of
and that's
code in the thing, and then just make it do the thing based on some spreadsheet
like
somewhere as well.
You know, we get into the weeds of work shit here, but like we have department that does that stuff. They write the bots and build APIs and stuff. They get paid hundreds of thousands a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
one of the
thinking
most
I think it's
job searches.
I think it's $150 for API access on ChatGPT.
So I was actually I was thinking about this today because I started a coding course today to sort of after the redundancies that happened. I'm like, I wanted to sort of expand my wings,
AI
like
confirmed.
shut up, polish up my LinkedIn a little bit.
This is how it starts. Yep.
So
It
I
all starts with
started doing
Shelby.
like a web design, like coding sort of course to start brushing up, and then I'm going to take some other courses, like a Python course. And I'm wondering, like, what sort of parts of my job can I automate? Like maybe use AI and just like use this course, right? Like use my fucking brain.
The problem is you just need to keep that shit secret. Like,
yeah, I will.
If you want to sit in your job, you just go and don't tell anyone about it, because you can do your 8 hours of work in 3 hours, and then you can focus like on content, or you can focus on upskilling or whatever.
You've
absolutely
absolutely
on playing Planet Coaster on my other monitor.
Whatever.
So this is the trick, right? So if I get this Google Sheets add-on to do all my work for me, right? There's no way my bosses are going to understand this is a thing. So I'll be able to just go, yeah, man, stayed up, burnt the midnight oil last night getting the sheet done for you guys. You know, it'd be cool if you let me off early on Friday to make up for the time.
Yeah. And like, I think I'd be 100% able to do something because like I already have a coding background. I can do it. I'm just taking the courses to find the nitty gritties, whatever. That's great. But I'm actually curious here because us three have talked about our jobs. Tane, what do you do for work?
I do work in transport.
Can you automate that somehow?
Nah, I wish I could. I've always said like, obviously like, could do it like a drone. Because I want to work from home. I don't want to go travel to
You
work.
can get those,
you know what I mean?
Like, what are they? The things they have in America, like the little boxes on wheels that just drive around the
The
streets.
eskies. They're like robotic eskies. I love
what?
those.
Well, like
What
the container yards in the wharf, some of them are automated, so they're all done. They're all operated by satellites, so they just got someone
I've seen that
controlling the
shit.
computer.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
cool.
the satellites.
That's super
So
cool.
yeah,
That's
everything's
what you
done
want
like
to
that.
do. That's the sort of job you want to get into, is being the person who
Yeah.
help works with those automations.
Yeah, except an
Pretty
AI can do
much.
that.
But for context, yeah, well, eventually. For context, Koshi, I don't know if you see, there's little robotic eskies, but mostly in America on university campuses, who deliver food.
Yeah, it's like
So they
Uber Eats
drive
and stuff
around,
use them.
and like
Uber
there's
Eat-
videos
wow.
of people like bullying them, all of them getting stuck on the side of the curb, and like
The
people
best
trying
one.
to help it.
No. The best one is the one that the guy's filming and it's just going straight through a crime scene, like through the police tape and everything.
I love that.
Oh my god.
And the cops
No
lift the
shit.
tape for it. They let it go. Like it could be carrying a severed head in it. Like it's part of the crime scene. Lift the
Yeah,
tape.
it's crazy to think, like, if you look into AI and like robotics and stuff like that, the level that we're at now versus even like 2 years ago is huge. It's massive.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. And every week there's more weird AI shit coming
And it's
out.
but
like,
at the same time, there's people that have absolutely no clue that this shit's happening, and they're just like,
right.
But that's the thing. That's the scary part, right? Like, we don't know where we're at in terms of the adoption curve. Like, are we at the start of AI? Like, or is this as much as it can do? Which obviously it's not. We can do so much more. But it's like, when a new console comes out and everyone sees it, and you're like, oh man, like people are still trying to learn how to use the technology. And then the games come out, they look better than the previous console. But if you compare a game that came out when the PS4 came out and a PS4 game at the end of the PS4's
the
life
great,
cycle,
the absolute best
it's
example.
night and day.
is
Like,
the-
and
the-
I'm scared that that's going to happen with AI as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's just going to go. You can do everything.
Well, it's
because
like
some smart
PS3
people
was the
figured
great
it out.
example because it's like all the first party houses did it properly, and they're like, why doesn't my game look like that? It's like, well, because it's so hard to port the PS3 because it was designed completely different to any other console. And then like halfway through its life cycle, even Sony's like, wow, we're using a lot of RAM for our operating system. We actually don't need this many. And they kind of just pulled a bit back and said, oh, we only use half as much now. So you got more RAM for your games. And that's exactly where The Last of Us came from. Because they're like, actually, with this little bit more power, we can do what we want to do here. And that's why The Last of Us was such a jump up from like fucking Uncharted. You know, it was from that to The Last of Us. I'm like, wow, it looks like a new game, new consoles. Because they were first party. They were talking to PlayStation. And they just used every inch of power out of it. But because they weren't making it for Xbox or PC or anything else, they could just make it designed for PlayStation, where Xbox and PC had architecture very similar. So if something was coming out on Xbox, it's very easily ported over that. And that's where the big difference came. That's where Xbox, like Microsoft and Call of Duty and all that sort of stuff, was like the 360 generation, right? And then Xbox One. Yeah, Xbox. I hate the fucking naming of the fucking Xboxes. But Xbox One came out and they're like, yo, look at this. Always online with the Kinect in the box. And like, that's nothing that we asked for. And then here comes PlayStation like, yo, we made our PlayStation architecture more like a PC, so it's easy to code for now. Slam dunk, take over, just absolutely destroyed Microsoft from there. And that's all PlayStation 4 did, was change their way of coding to fucking do that. And now the current generation, they're all complaining because the PS5 is a fucking beast. The Xbox Series X is also a fucking beast. And when you break down the cost of console versus GPU, is an absolute bargain. But
It really is.
if they make a multi-platform game, they need to include the Xbox Series S, because that Microsoft won't publish on X if it doesn't work on S. So that means that if you're making a game, you have to make it for an Xbox Series S, even though it's running on a PS5. So it's running at like 75% power.
I do like the Xbox Series S though, and the people have.
I do too.
You can use it basically like an emulator box. So there's like, you can get access to the Microsoft development area of Xbox. You pay a fee for them. It's like $25 or something, and then you can sideload particular apps on there. So one of them is an emulator manager, so you can run everything
basically
like
use
up to GameCube and PS2, maybe PS3 on that thing.
I've seen
hack
PS3.
everything.
Yeah, I've seen
Like,
PS3 running on there
Put it on
flawlessly.
and they're allowing you to do it too. They're like, look, just pay us money so that you have that on there, and then you can sideload it. You can put on all your GBA games.
Yeah, it's
you know,
made
all-
so you
all
make
the shit in
games.
there.
I'm
making
all
games.
for like doing stuff like that and like putting whatever apps you can on any device. Get your money's worth. These days we're too poor to afford multiple.
Well, when the
machines to
when
do
the
everything.
when the
Just go and
PS3
do it.
came out, even at its launch title price of $1,000, which is what it
That
was,
horrible.
it was still the strongest and most powerful computer for $1,000, and you could literally just chuck a Windows CD-ROM in there and install Windows.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
day one, and I'm like, that is the weirdest flex. Why would I ever want to do that? And then when they removed it and they got sued and lost, it's because it's like, oh, okay, people were doing that. There was entire schools that were using PS3s as their computers because that was the
That's
cheapest
nuts.
way to buy them. It's fucking wild. But now the thing is, and this is the other thing that people don't realize, it's like if you're a game dev now, let's say you're coming out with a game, it's not you're not a AAA studio because you're just just a man
Little
or a
indie,
woman
indie,
or whatever.
indie developer.
Yeah, you're a little indie developer. You're better off releasing it on a PS4 than a PS5 because there's just more of them. Simple as that.
Because it's still hard to get a PS5.
If you've
still,
ever,
yeah.
My favorite game to play on an iPhone it has been for 10 years is Game Dev Story. If you've ever played it, it's fucking so good.
Soft, yeah.
And one of the best things that like taught me was like, hey, would you like to do the R&D for a new game for the new console, or would you like to bring out? They don't call them different things. Would you like to bring out another game for the PS2 that has 90 million versions out there? It's like, oh, obviously the PS2. I'd like to sell 90 million versions of my game versus putting a game on GameCube which sold maybe 20 million. So
yeah, it's right. It's like that's why there's a lot of games that have come out on PS5 that are also available on PS4 because like it's just not worth it at the moment with the availability of PS5s being as skint as they are. I mean, Eladi got lucky; he got the first wave like immediately.
Not lucky. I was playing the game.
He was sus. He was very suspicious.
Would you like to hear the story? You want to hear the story? All right.
Yeah, tell everybody, you little bitch.
We do.
So like I had my fucking ear to the ground. I'm like, the PS5's coming, the announcement's coming, I know it's coming. And like every time PlayStation would be like, oh, we got maybe a direct coming or whatever else. I was like reading all the leaks and all that shit. No one knew what the fuck was going on. I don't even think PlayStation knew what was going on. I actually don't know the full story. You could probably look it up. There's probably like an internet historian version of it now. Anyway, the direct that they did was like last minute, and they dropped it at 4 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday. Mm. And I was like, we watched it, and they announced it, and they're like, yo, it's going to be coming out on this date. It's going to be this much, da-da-da, and it just ends it. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, at least we got a date and a time. And
you put on your detective hat.
No, I was sitting in a Discord call with Jelly at the time, and it was like fucking 5 a.m. I'm like, I might as well just stay up because I'm going to start work at fucking 7 anyway. And just sit
How
there.
do you do that?
And not very well.
Oh no, you didn't power through. You just were up at 5, right? Okay.
No.
No. How do you do that? I have no idea.
So anyway, we're sitting there. I'm going. They have an announcement. It's going to come. And like EB Games hadn't said anything, and I think it was like just 4 a.m. or whatever. So anyway, I'd opened up the back end of the EB Games website and was looking at their like page index and their sources stuff. Because I noticed that like some of the images had changed, like disappeared. So they normally have like a few headers and stuff like that, saying what's coming up, whatever else, and they disappeared. And I could see placeholders go in, and I saw the link to the pre-order for the PS5 go in before they even put the image on the website. And that's when I messaged Jelly, and I'm like, they're putting it up like now, like you're going to be able to pre-order like now at 6 a.m. So then, like, I think she went and woke up Boydo, who was going to actually pre-order it, and was like, go, we got to go pre-order this shit.
Get the fuck up, we need a PlayStation 5.
So at like 6 a.m. on a Thursday or whatever it was, we fucking just pre-ordered it, and then everyone's like waking up going, what the fuck, pre-orders are open? It's just chaos. And that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it was fucked. There was no going live at 11 p.m. on Friday or anything like that. It just went live. It just happened.
Just went live. So even now, so much time later, so many months later, like you still can't really get them.
Yeah, you can get them from like your more obscure sort of places, and even like Harvey Norman and JB have got them now.
The digital only versions are like easier to get, but some people really want the discs.
What people want is they want to be able to trade in their console and get a deal on the PS5, and that's why they're all wanted to go to EB Games, even though EB Games is never going to be the competitive pricing, but they want that handover.
They want that hot swap. They want that new one, fresh.
So, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I want this console day one. I'm going to be I play PlayStation games all the time, and I just want to I want to make the content. I want to be in the front lines of the shit, right? And look, sometimes I'm like that. And it's like PSVR 2 is a great example. It's exactly the same.
Yep.
Up until they showed me the price, and then I went, nope.
And I was like, no.
I know. And some people that I know a few people who got review units. The lucky bastards. I want to fist fight them.
I know people that got review units who don't have PlayStations.
How does that even work? You just have to borrow a PlayStation or something?
Let's take them.
They I don't know what to do. I got given this to make content. Can I borrow someone's PS5? I'm like,
that's so
what
annoying.
the fuck? Why did they get one? I would have made 70 YouTube videos by now and probably streamed 24/7 from VR world if I had given this fucking VR headset. No, instead, like I'm one of the few people that've done a lot of PSVR content because people don't do it because you can't overlay, like you can't read chat or anything. There's no
You played the Alien game, and I was reading your chat for you while you were
Yeah,
playing.
but okay, so before you were doing that, before I even knew you when I was streaming PSVR, I had text to speech going in my ear, so I could read chat. So while I'm trying to make content and do that, I'm having chat read out to me and in my ear to the whole time. And then when chat realizes that everything they say gets done in Microsoft Sam in my ear, I just get all this fucking filth. But everyone else, like I remember having a conversation with there was 5 content creators, and there were ones that were given PlayStation VRs, and they're just like, "Yeah, we want to make stream and stuff, but how do you get overlays and how do you capture it and how do you read chat and stuff like that?" And I gave them my idea, and they're just like, "No, I'm fucking not doing that."
That's too much.
But I don't know. I remember, right? So this is, I remember I did Arc VR, which is an awful game. Don't fucking play it. Get fucked, Arc. And it's just an awful game. It's not anything like Arc at all. It's just you walk around a fence dinosaur, and that's it in VR. Anyway,
it's an experience. Yeah.
Yay. I have so many of those experiences with Steve. It's just like experience of
I wanted to just play Arc in VR. How hard can that be?
VR, all right? Just VR.
Anyway, I punched through a glass painting, like a frame thing on the wall. I went smash, punched it through. Everyone thought that was hilarious. And it was enough to get my affiliate on Twitch. That's how I got affiliate. I punched through a wall.
We just got a Zombies Love Bacon origin story.
Yeah. That's
superhero background story.
I reconverted. Because I used to live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and one was like an office, I guess, and then I converted it into a VR space, so I could just do VR content nonstop. Because I'm like, no one else is doing this, and
in this economy,
well, no, this was in the old economy. It's different now.
Yeah.
It's gone.
The old and the classic era.
But VR streaming and stuff like that. If you go back even 3 years, it was kind of a rare thing. Honestly.
I like your last VR stream you did. I think it was your Oculus or whatever, but you had the green screen up, the big green sheet.
Yeah, okay.
And the cat was just clawing at it, jumping at it, having the time of his life trying to ruin it.
Also, let's talk about that for a second, because that was also a fucking runaround. All right, so even now, I'm like, okay, I want to play Resident Evil 4 in VR. Easy enough, right? No, you can't get it on PC. You can get it in Oculus, but you can't get it on PC.
But why?
So you have to buy it from the Oculus shop because it's in the Meta shop, right? Anyway, so I'm like, how the fuck do I capture the Oculus and live stream it now that I've put myself in the bag of going, hey guys, this is great. We're going to stream Resident Evil 4 VR. Look forward to this shit. Yeah, guys, great. And I'm like, how do I do this? And again, I can't fucking read chat or anything because I'm in the same thing. Anyway, so I discovered that you can Chromecast your view from the Oculus. So I plugged my Chromecast into my Elgato capture.
So it's such a workaround.
Fucking MacGyver over here.
Oh no.
He is like the streamer MacGyver though, because if I have any computer issues or stream related issues, I'm like, Alani, come fix this, and he'll just be running down the hallway to his big cupboard full of cables and bits.
I've got this. Yeah,
I got this. I'll fix it for you. He's just got everything.
Many have tried to get me to throw out my cables, and they have all failed.
Your emotional support.
You never
cables,
know when you're going to need a cable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I made a mistake once of throwing out half my cables, and I fucked up real bad. I don't need cables. This. And then the other a few weeks ago, I was like, I got a monitor from Aladi to add as my console monitor, and it needs a DVI cable.
And what did I have? Just straight up. No worries. DVI cable.
Perfect.
Not a problem. And I have a cable for
those
everything.
Motherfuckers. Yeah.
It's like, mate, I have probably. No, let's not talk about it, actually. I have so many. I literally have... I have, metal cases, which have all my important cables in it. I have 5 of them, and they're just full of them. And then I have actual giant, 52-liter tubs. I have an entire tub that has...
the weirdest flex.
It has a complete like an analog podcast set. So if you want a 6-person podcast, we've got mic arms, microphones, a mixer, everything ready to go. It's just sitting in a tub. It's right there, ready to go.
That is
And here
the
we
weirdest
are in
flex.
Discord with
Yeah,
people
well,
all over.
we all live in different places. That's back when my podcast was in my living room, and
I
like
was
we
going to say,
set
you're
it
going
up.
to set that up next week, are you? We'll go to TGX and we don't
Well,
even
that
need
was-
to do a panel. We don't need to do a live panel. We'll just set it up at a booth and just take over someone's booth
It'll
and
still
just
sound
set
better
up
than we did at PAX.
Yeah. right next to the DJ. Yeah,
I
it'll be
would say
fine.
in like all my content creation career, I'm not shading anyone, but
But-
there's something about being shoved into a booth next to like a DJ and like all the noise around you and somebody trying to break into the room
Listen.
that really humbles you and reminds you that you're at the lowest of the pecking order in creators.
No. It's when
I've
you
done it
it's,
outside.
it's
yeah.
when you go to rock up the stream and there's no computer. That's when you know you're at the bottom.
Wow, yeah. And ironically, that was adjacent to the podcast booth we end up in. So same experience.
Well,
Just
remember,
that area.
remember,
Yeah.
we're
really
like,
humbling.
we asked them, we're like, yo, where's the podcast space? And then eventually they opened the door and there was a table with one single mic in the middle. And they're like, And I'm like, no, it's not happening.
We're all gonna like kiss on the mic. That's how it's gonna be. We're gonna lean in and just give each
Yeah.
other a little smooch.
That was honestly, that was the most poorly organized. I don't even know what. And the thing is that, like, I've seen it previous years. I've seen the exact same booths, and they're like in the corner of the actual show floor, and that would be better than putting it. I don't know why they put the DJ booth next to it. It's just fucking weird.
I don't know. I honestly have
Some
no
fucking
idea. Like the
nincompoop gets
DJ,
paid too
great,
much
you
to
know,
say
good
that.
music,
Yeah.
good vibes. You know, I was vibing along with the tunes, but it just did not make any sense to have
No.
podcast booth and stream booth around in that area.
And like, it was like the people who were helping and like trying to fix it and like they were great. But yeah, it was just a difficult situation.
It was
where
also like it's not. I mean, the people who organised this and everything else, it's not necessarily their fault, but also that was a branded booth. Like they were meant to be a pretty prestigious brand of like microphones and audio equipment and stuff like that. And that was a shit show.
Yeah.
Put simply.
Yeah, that was
Um,
the sure.
So anyway,
whatever
but
the-
yeah.
I was trying to make a segue into TGX and just are we going to make some predictions for this wonderful expo
I
coming
am
up that we're going to
afraid.
go to?
Okay, I'm afraid right now because there's too much. There's not proper schedules that are out for everything. They've got a few schedules out for like different areas, but not
PC
everything
Zone,
right now.
fighting game
PAX,
tournament
yeah,
stuff.
PAX at least puts out their schedules like a month in advance, at least, which is great. But I'm afraid because I don't really know what's happening, where we're going, what's going on. I don't usually by now I've got my own schedule of like where I've got to be, what I've got to do, who I've got to see.
I mean, by now it's over next
I'm
week. We're less than a week away.
we're less
That's
than
what
a
I
week
mean.
away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're gonna put out the podcast. It's gonna be like what 4 days maybe,
Yeah.
depending on when you get this podcast out. And then we've got to plan potentially like potentially 2 panels.
Two.
Yeah,
We got
Actually, well, yeah.
you and me, Koshi. We're on 2.
we're on 2. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, so we've got Team SE and this. Assuming that you get confirmed at some point.
So
Again,
the
it's not
last
confirmed
email that
yet.
I had, which let's just put the big asterisks on. I don't think anyone knows what's going on at TGX,
Whoa.
not even TGX. But the slot they have given us is 11 a.m. on a Sunday, which is actually pretty cool because I think that's about when everyone's going to rock up hungover and be like awesome. Because if you have like 4 p.m. on a Sunday, I think everyone's gone home by then. It's just
Yeah, especially depending on because we don't know what's around for the expo either.
no idea,
Like
no
PAX,
map.
right?
We don't even know where we are. We could be
Yeah,
next
exactly.
to the DJ booth.
And it could be like
It could be a stage out in the open, and we've got a DJ just sitting there. We have no idea.
it could also be like an expo that's small enough that people like see everything on the first day and like I'm not coming back for Sunday.
So do
Yeah.
you want to hear some-
I've been to expos like that
Yeah,
before.
me
It's
too.
like, what's the point of going the second day? Like, okay,
Absolutely. Well, they also like
photos maybe of cosplays.
there's
that's
a lot of
about it.
tournaments that run till the Sunday. That's how they keep people around
Yeah.
on these things. Anyway,
Yeah.
one of the main things I was like, if we get a panel for this podcast, this is going to be easy. We're just going to make fun of the fact that we actually got into this expo, unlike Crunchyroll, and just like bag out Crunchy. Anyway, I found out Crunchyroll's going to this expo, so it might be a little bit awkward if we just bag them out. On stage.
Yeah.
We could, who let you guys in?
Crunchyroll are also like sponsoring their cosplay tournament. It's like a whole thing for the anime section of that.
Yeah, Crunchyroll. Just a short sidetrack before we get back to TGX, but Crunchyroll, they let off a lot of people worldwide. Like they did a lot of redundancies.
Really?
And one of the things that they did say is they're not doing expos anymore. They called the pin on that. They said they put a hold on that, and they're just going to be going to other people's expos instead. They don't want to organize them; they just want to show up. and this is the
Which is
first.
fair because they're not very good at them. So
Yeah, but
it's too hard
also, so a lot of their marketing and a lot of their like quality testing assurance, all those sort of guys, they're all the first to go, and they're all gone from Crunchyroll. So
yeah, I definitely know some people like personally who have been let go from there, which is very sad.
the thing that pissed me off the most is they absorbed all these other anime companies that were really good, like community based almost. They absorbed them all into Crunchyroll, and then Crunchyroll fired half the people and went, "Fuck yous, we'll do whatever we want." But
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, so CGX is next weekend, which is so weird to say because normally, like when we talk about expos, we talk about PAX, and it's like, yeah, guys, this is our time slot, and PAX will be here in 3 months' time. We're like, we're just finding out now where we are this time next week.
Yeah. I mean, even then, I'm not really sure.
What are you
where
most
we'll be.
excited for at the expo, Zombies?
People. Just the people.
Yeah,
Well-
Melbourne. Just being in Melbourne. Just being able to go out and drink,
I was
my
just
friends.
gonna say, like, I don't know what I'm excited.
I'm not a
for 'cause there's
competitive
no-
gamer anymore. I don't really follow any like competitive people anymore. I don't really follow any esports and stuff. Like I can watch like Valorant and Overwatch and Rocket
Yeah.
League and stuff like that and respect the plays. It's all good, but I know I'm not following any particular team or anything. So that's all cool. Obviously, like I heard there's an artist alley. It'd be good to get a map. Come on,
There
guys.
is, yeah. We had no announcement of that. I just looked at the Discord when someone
Keen for
was
artist
like,
alley.
not even, yeah. Someone was like, "Oh, well, I'll be in the artist alley on both days," and I was like, "There's an artist alley? I didn't know."
All right, you heard it here first, people. We're making the announcement for them. Artist alley at TGX next
Artist alley.
weekend.
Yeah.
Get down there.
Down
I'll be
there.
Down
excited to say hi to people and see people I haven't seen in a while. And I also got some new business cards made. So if you want to keep your waifu in your wallet, come find me. I'll give you a business card. But aside from that, I don't know where anything is going on.
Yeah.
Someone had a really smart idea. Jazz had a really smart idea, and you use your phone, use your lock screen on your phone, and have a QR code on it that goes to your link tree.
Mm.
So you just, just open up your phone. Well, you can't. Well, it's bright, but anyway, you open up your phone and it has,
Someone can scan that
Koshify,
QR.
Yeah.
let it
and
go.
then just go scan the QR code. You want to go to Lemon Linktree? Just save that in your browser or something. Easy peasy. And I
See,
was
my,
like,
my
"That
problem with that
genius."
is that often, because like QR codes don't work well when there's no reception, and in the convention halls, sometimes there is just not great reception. I'm also just a huge slut for normal business cards. I just love collecting
Oh,
everyone's
yeah,
like
they're
little
so cool.
designs. I'm like, it's like trading cards, like Pokemon. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh,
like
look at that.
Yoshi. Yeah.
Oh. It was quick with
I
that,
got
too.
that. I got that one in my collection already. Sold.
Quick, Shelby, show your card.
Yeah, shall we quick get it out in your pocket?
It's just got my face on it, like, don't worry.
Just put it real
I
close.
can, I
like,
can
yeah,
actually probably hang on, hold on. Actually, this might take
Oh,
a minute.
no. She's got to be. She's
Never
got
mind,
to
you
try.
know what?
everything.
You can't put
It's
it
gonna
into
take
your
me too long.
AI fucking card.
I can put any picture. I can put any picture on like my forehead, and it works.
It's.
Oh, you've broken it.
I think for most people it's just a matter of like community. I think a lot of people are just going to rock up and just be at the event and see stuff like that. And I think because I don't know, like honestly, I have no idea what's going on with this stuff. All I know is I'd like to be a part of it because if it takes off and we have like a community-based fucking Game Expo here in Melbourne on top of like what we already have, which is
That
more
would be poggers, dude.
yeah, because like DreamHack's huge. Like I think DreamHack. I think actually, look, honestly, I think DreamHack's marketing is average. I think how they communicate themselves to the wider community as an event, it just sounds like unless you play Overwatch, you can't go. Or if you don't know about computers,
Or
you can't go.
CS:GO.
Or CS:GO, and like it's not though, because if for a lot of kids and stuff, it's kind of just mind blowing to be in that space. Like it should be more of a family
They
affair.
could definitely build it up and like make more of it and like advertise it more, and it would be
Yeah.
great. I mean,
I'm just
best
glad I
part
know
of-
where the venue is now.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
I mean,
'cause
that's
I would have
a-
gone to the wrong damn venue.
I think there's even a picture behind the logo of where it's at. But I just
I was on
he
mobile
doesn't
view. I
live
can't
here.
see
He
that
doesn't know
shit.
what shit looks like. He just
I don't
knows
know
the
what shit
map.
looks
for
like.
for
I was like,
context, Koshi booked his flights and his hotels, everything. Didn't know where he's going.
I just assumed it would be MCEC, so like everything else. Luckily, the hotels that I booked was in South Bank, so that it's basically in the middle.
There's no
between
hotels near it
MCEC
anyway. Yeah.
And then an Olympic Park or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So I can
Olympic Park.
move between the two, go to the casino, Lumia Bar, check that out again. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is the thing though. Like, just you go to DreamHack, right? You go to DreamHack because we went last year, and we only went for a day just because we don't follow any sports and stuff. We just want to see the cool shit. And there was fuck all people there. Like we're never crammed in. We never pushed anywhere. We didn't have to line up for food. We didn't have to find a seat.
We got
It
good
was
fish and
fucking
chips.
easy. there was a whole arcade bar that had fuck all people in it and just free arcade games. You just go chilling all
playing
day.
pinball and everything. It was good. It
I'm
was
just like,
very relaxed.
what is going on? Like, where? And this is the other thing as well. So I was like, oh, well, people like to call me an influencer. Maybe I can get an influencer thing and do shit to make content and whatever else. It took me forever to find the fucking form to sign up. And then when I did, and I have signed up and stuff like that, I believe they've already announced the influencers, but
round 1, yeah.
Yeah,
they're
but
still
it's,
accepting them though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know
But it's
Cammy
like
applied for it, but yeah,
it's like even the people they've selected, I wouldn't even think of, like, they're not the sort of people I'd think DreamHack. These people for sure. It's like, I don't know. It just feels they're very detached. Where PAX is like community based, and like if there's a streamer that's serious about content, they're talking about PAX in some way. Where DreamHack, I think, just comes and goes, and then people are like, yeah, I went to DreamHack last week. It was pretty cool.
Me, when I talk about PAX, is I went to PAX, I got so fucking trashed. That's it.
The people is like, I went to PAX. Oh, what'd you see? I didn't see nothing.
I saw the bottom of my glass a lot.
That's
Yeah,
Vince.
I don't remember what I saw.
Vince has been to PAX like twice, and I don't think he's been inside yet. It's like
He
once
just goes
he
there to
walked
walk
in,
around in his
he walked in
slides
the
and
entrance and sat at the door once because it was hot
And then he goes
outside.
and gets a tattoo.
No, last time we went shopping in Chadstone instead.
Yeah.
But he flies down to Melbourne to come to PAX, but he's not there for PAX. He's there for everything
People
around
have
it.
it as like a social gathering time. Everyone's going to be in one place.
Yeah.
Let's go see it.
Yeah,
well, that's why I'm coming down for TGX. Like, yes, new expo stuff like that. I get to do some
But
content.
you're here to see us.
But I'm really there to see friends, and I even
Yeah.
with PAX, it's the same thing.
and
It's
that
like you
friend
go
is
down
called
and you don't
Crown
miss it.
Casino.
And that friend is the Lumia bar in Crown Casino. So if you ever need to see me, I'll probably end up being there.
Let's do shots
at
this
some point.
time.
Yes.
Uh,
No.
Yes.
No.
We'll do a shot for every
No,
schedule
no.
they put out.
We're getting zombies drunk. Selby, you can't be drunk.
Yes,
We're
actually,
getting
that's a good
zombies
point.
drunk. That's the
'Cause
main thing.
I've still never seen him drunk, but it's his fault because he's built like a brick shit house. He's hard to get drunk.
Delby has never seen me drunk. There's a challenge, everybody.
I'm
Yeah.
drunk right now.
It's TGX. This is how we're going to enjoy the expos. We just need to get plastered, and then we can rock up and just do a panel, and then get plastered again. That
I can
sounds
see it
fine.
now. I don't even turn up from my own fucking panel that I've been hassling them for because it got a bit too fucking
Do
hairy
a
the night before.
shoey at the panel. Do a shoey.
Oh, I don't know what the rules are.
Just
We don't
do
know.
it.
We
Well,
don't
if they
know what the
haven't
rules are.
provided an expo map or a schedule, they don't know what the rules are either. So
They haven't told us no.
I can just see a crowd of 13-year-olds in front of us. Let's do a shoey, cunts!
Jam all up.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's bring some Crocs for the shoey.
It'd be a true W moment, brother.
And I get some Pog champs.
I mean, at least PAX writes on the little your badge. They write on the badge.
We do get
basic
badges,
rules.
apparently. We do get badges.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited
maybe
about
there's
that.
rules on the back of that. And a map.
I love a clout badge.
a clout.
love a
badge.
badge.
Oh,
you
you can't see.
yeah.
I have a bunch of hangers just off
Your
camera.
bunch of clout badges.
Clout.
you
Like
can hang
clout
up-
badges. Yeah.
The importance. The clout
Yeah.
badge. It should be good. It should be interesting. I think I'm a big fan of even if it doesn't go well, at least it's content. So
And we'll have stories like Crunchyroll. That was a big
Yeah.
story we talked about that all podcast.
And they'll learn as well. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
their
know.
first
Yeah, like
expo,
the
and we've
first
had so
Oz
many
Comic-Con
expos that
was-
come out. Like
Yeah,
they'll
the first
learn.
Oz Comic Con was trash, and it's gotten better.
So I think what we're actually, we'll talk about it probably more next week anyway. But one of the topics I thought, if we're going to do a panel, one of the things we can talk about is all the fucking expos and stuff that have been around, and like the first PAX was not very good.
No, it was in 3 different expo halls. You had to line up outside where it started to
Well,
rain.
I was going to
And
say
you had undercover walkways where there were gaps. So
It was a
people
great
had people
idea.
cutting in.
because
Like, it just didn't work.
they envisioned the Melbourne showgrounds and all these people frolicking through the showgrounds in their cosplay and taking photos and stuff like that. What they didn't envision was down torrential rain constantly, so no one could go outside the bloody undercovered areas.
Which
So
is
they were like
funny because it's
herded in.
they have to understand it's where was this hosted?
It's-
Fucking
it's-
Melbourne, where it
Not
could
only that, it
change
was
on
like
a dime.
April. I think it was April. It was the first one. It was in the middle of winter.
Doesn't matter what time of the
It was
season
August, I
it
think.
is.
That's
It's
pretty
just
fun.
like
No, it was middle winter. I'm sure of it.
So I
2013, it was
checked.
10 years
I
ago.
checked the
I'm gonna
weather
fucking
for
find
next
out.
week. It's actually going to be nice weather. It's going to be like 22, 23. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
should
that's
be
good.
good.
Yeah, but it's Melbourne weather.
Yeah, it's it might
anything
be
could
fun,
happen.
by the way.
You don't
Yeah.
know.
You never
Could be a
know.
cyclone.
It was in
You need a
July
pack for
19.
all seasons.
I was closer.
Yeah.
I said August.
Split the difference. But yeah, it was it was all great in concept, but then the rain just herded us all into fucking corridors, and then they had like 4 food vans to feed everyone, and like even like they had porta potties and stuff like that for access to more toilets, and all that shit was outside as well, and so it was all good in principle. They just didn't think it was going to rain, and then it did, and it ruined it. And
that was my first time trying VR, and I was on the Oculus, the first dev kit, I think, with the Oculus Rift.
Yep.
And I thought, oh yeah, I'll play like a little experience game. They put me on Mirror's Edge.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's terrible.
And that was my first experience with
somebody.
VR. So first person Mirror's Edge and being like,
how do you go with heights?
Yeah, not great. I don't like heights either. So it was the worst experience because that's how I started VR. Like now I've got 2 headsets and I'm fine, but like, oh man, that was an interesting introduction.
Yeah, I remember that was like, that's when Xbox for some reason announced the Xbox One controller at that event, I think, and I didn't
taking pictures of it. I remember,
and they came and they did like a deep dive of all the shit they could do with like Kinect and online and all this stuff, and it's like they're talking it all up, and then just everyone's like, this is not what we want. Where's the games?
Was the console there?
I think they might have unreeled
the console.
I think the console was there, and they put it in like a glass case behind a red ribbon.
Yeah.
And I think the only game they showed us was I want to say it's Rise or something like that. It was like some Spartan game, which is a launch title, and they just had like a pre-rendered cinematic for it. And I just remember feeling really underwhelmed. Like, I don't really want to play this. I think I spent more time.
Just the console. That's all it was revealed. They were like, they had a cloth over it and everything.
Yeah. No, so you're right. That's right.
They had security guards around it, and then they were like, "All right, everyone, gather around." And then they went, "Wow."
That's right. I remember.
And everyone was like, "Oh!" And then that was it. There was nothing else. It was like a 5 to 10 minute.
That's garbage.
Yeah, it was trash. And that was their worldwide reveal. Was there?
Yep.
It's why, and it's pissing rain. We're in a dirt fucking place where they usually have animals for the fucking Melbourne show. It's like, anyway, it's. I just remember playing a lot of. They had Fruit Ninja there, and you could play it with like Kinect, and I just remember playing a lot of Fruit Ninja. And that was pretty much it. And I went to IGN did a live recording of their pubcast, which is their podcast when they get drunk. And I remember going to that and thinking, wow, it'd be really cool to be a podcast one day.
It'd be really cool to be a podcast one day. Let's get drunk.
But yeah, so it was. But that, like, if you think about everything we just said versus what you see now for PAX, chalk and cheese. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, exactly. You got to start somewhere, right?
But that was like my first convention in Melbourne was a festival called Game One, which I've never heard of and ever heard again. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And I'm like, where is it at? And they're like, oh, it's at another convention called Auto Salon. Now, if anyone knows what Auto Salon is, it's basically the Fast and the Furious. So versus
why not? Let's go.
versus Pimp My Ride. So it's at the convention center. The entire convention center was just full of pimped cars and hot rods and fucking people straight out of Fast and Furious. And then in the corner, they had the Game One Expo. And in the Game One Expo, this ages it completely. They just had this red hot game come out called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And everyone was playing it. And that's what I remember going, what the fuck is this Call of Duty?
Sometimes I forget how old you are.
Shut up. And I remember looking at these people playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare and going, I wonder if this comes out on the Wii.
Unbelievable.
But it was such a wild experience coming from, because I was only new to Melbourne at that point, and it's like, look at all these gamers, and then on the other side it's like, look at this Humvee with 37 TVs in it. it's like, what is going on? And they even had a dyno in the corner where people could bring in their cars, like their cars they'd done up at home, and test them out. This fucking VR Holden Ute like burnt it out twice in a row. I'm just like, what is this? They got the nerds in the corner just glued to their computer screens, and then you've got the fucking on the other end, it's just full of smoke, and they're setting up the smoke alarm. There's dyno machines.
Amazing.
It was such a surreal experience. But that was like when I went, okay, there's more to gaming than what I'm doing, and I need to go out and find out more, because it's like.
Again, another ZLB origin story. It just got some lore coming in.
I mean, it's before ZLB.
Those wiki pages, guys. Yeah.
Fucking hell. I asked ChatGPT about ZLB. It's zero lower bound, so that's fine. If the
Zero lower bound.
He doesn't even know who I am, so don't worry.
That's all right. I asked him what Tumo CE was. They said that we had a meeting in France. I'm like, fuck, they didn't invite me.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Must have
I'll
been
join.
before your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a meeting in
I went
France.
to
I think I'd be
croissants.
sick. Croissant.
Croissant. Oui, baguette.
I just want the wine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it's interesting when you start looking at, like, if you start breaking down bigger picture stuff, right? Just gaming, we're well on this path, but like PAX didn't. We talked about it last year. PAX didn't have the big players. Your Nintendo, your Xbox, your PlayStation, not there.
Indies were the highlight.
I did see.
Oh, they were.
In a kind of abstract way that like Xbox fans were organizing an Xbox meetup at TGX, and I'm like, that's weird that they have to do that and Xbox aren't doing it. Or...
Yeah, it's still the Xbox ambassadors and stuff.
But I don't think Xbox has organized that. I think that's just ambassadors. But then
they might have part of the marketing budget though, so they might not be able to buy something. But like, it's kind of like one of those maybe like those Bethesda events. Like they didn't have anything at PAX, but they have like they rented out a venue.
So this is
actually going to be cheaper.
Yeah,
right?
This is where we're getting
marketing.
You're on the right path because this is then I want to talk about E3, right?
I was about to say, they pulled out E3 too.
But Bethesda hasn't been going to E3 for ages because they just hire the venue across the road and have it on at the same time because it's cheaper.
Whenever they've got something.
When they do
online shit nowadays.
When they do like they do the Fallout reveal and stuff like that at E3, they're not at E3 at all. They're at the venue across the road because it's cheaper. And now PlayStation, Sony, and Microsoft aren't going to E3, and Nintendo came out. Saying, well, we're not going because we've got nothing to show. Even though they've done 3 directs already this year. But, they've got nothing to show. It's like, it's not that. They don't want to pay them to do it. Because it's cheaper to do an online event, or it's cheaper to hire another venue in the same area while everyone's there. And I think that's where we're going to get more of PAX. Well, like PAX aren't going to be able to say, hey, we've got all these big players coming to these events anymore. No. It's going to be community-based, community-focused. And I think that TGX is going to... TGX is like, as much as they're inviting indies and tabletops and cosplay and all that sort of stuff, the focus is...
Are they inviting indies there? Because I haven't seen anything about like an indie area.
No, there is. It's meant to be an indie area.
There is.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
It's on the map. Don't worry.
It's on the map.
It's
Zombies is drawing it in paint right now. You can see it.
Yeah, we're gonna
somebody I can give my business cards to.
Yeah, but like they're doing all this stuff, but the focus is the tournaments, right? Like it's the fighting tournaments, they got the Apex.
You can tell they came from fighting game tournaments because it's like all the schedules were slowly coming out, and then it was fighting game tournament done. And you're like,
the thing is that like, the fighting guys, they have a tournament every 2 weeks. Like they had one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and they were already organized. They just have to get given a slot. But then they have that whole Apex creator tournament thing, which I knew nothing about until it was already full and happening. So it's like, okay, cool.
They had 20 teams, and they've got a trailer out for that. They've done a whole portion of their website dedicated to this tournament, the first OC Apex tournament, to be done with casters and official esports be done. And I'm like, yeah, where is it?
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. It's streamed, so you don't even need to go to TGX to see it. You just watch the stream.
They just tweeted 2 minutes ago as well. There's going to be trading card tournaments for Pokemon and Magic the Gathering as well.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. I mean, they had...
I don't know wherever that is.
They had the Pokemon event 2 weeks ago at that exact spot where they had the full-on card event. I forget what they call it, the official one. They're in Perth today. I saw the same thing, the trading card thing. It's like, damn. I mean, again, kind of a missed opportunity. They could have just aligned themselves by 2 weeks, and they could have had these things combined. It would have been an even bigger event with twice as many people. Anyway, it's like, I just feel like the TGX and even DreamHack to a certain degree, they kind of just need better marketing. It's just more information is better. Like keeping the shit obscure to certain websites, whatever else, is not the way.
Get ChatGPT to generate the schedule.
It's not even that. You got to put your shit on every social media. As soon as you locked it in, you need to tell everyone so everyone else can get their shit organized, or they just won't come because it's too hard. So,
I just think they ran out of time.
Yeah, but I mean, this is an event that was originally planned for 2021.
Yeah.
And then they ran out of time.
They're getting sponsors and stuff to give them as much credit as possible. Like they had all these sponsors and partners here, and they kept adding sponsors at the last second. And it was like, well, hang on, why are they telling you 2 weeks out that they're going to be able to sponsor the event for something? Also, now what are you going to do with that money that they're giving you to sponsor that event, right? Like, or just reclaiming their debt that they probably have.
I've done a little bit of like project management shit in my time, and like the biggest event I've had is maybe like 3,000 people, whatever. My question is, because like normally you put the plan together, you're like, this is what's happening, these are the main attractions, this is the timetable, this is what it's going to look like, this is where you can be, and you go to your sponsors and say, this is what we're looking to do, blah, 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 and you get your sponsors lined up, and away you go. If you haven't organized that shit, how are you getting sponsors? How do the sponsors know what they're covering? It's like it's just seems all over the place, and like I don't know. It makes me nervous, but also it's not. What do they say? Not my show, not my monkeys. Not my circus.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
That's a good. Yeah, I like
we got
that.
our monkeys right here. We'll focus on what we got to do.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
then when in doubt, we don't need to be there.
Then
We
we'll
get our
take the monkeys
content
to
that we
Crown.
need to, and then we'll head to Crown.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll just stay on the south side. We don't need to go into the city. Screw it. We're not going to Fortress. I couldn't be bothered going all that way.
Fortress.
But, you know.
Yeah, there's no actual tie-in events anywhere announced with any bars or anything either. So.
I just want somewhere that sells booze. I'm good. I'm actually.
Woo, apple pie cocktails.
We can do high fancy cocktails, or like
we need to somewhere. We need to warm up somewhere first, and then you go.
Yes.
To yeah.
I'm gonna smuggle a bottle of vodka in my bag.
What?
Oh yeah.
What?
No, you're not.
You
Remember, you need to
up.
get zombies drunk.
That's exactly why I'm smuggling it.
This is why I don't get drunk anymore, because Shelby gets drunk and I have to take her home.
No, I'm
this is
smuggling
exactly
the
what happened at
vodka
PAX.
for you.
Yeah.
I'll bring that, and I'll bring a shot glass, and we'll take care of you.
But yeah, I think what Koshi's trying to say is we'll find a nice little bar on the waterfront there, have a few brewskis and some dinner, and get fucking toasted. And
because they're not going to be as busy, I don't think.
No,
like,
no,
they're not going to have the numbers PAX is. Like, yes, the Saturday tickets are 90% sold out, which we don't know how many tickets there are anyway. I think that was mainly pushed out to generate hype because they can't prove or deny that anyway.
Yeah, but also I think they announced that after they sent everyone, like all their creators and everyone, saying, "Okay, here's your tickets and stuff." And they're like, "Oh, it's signed out."
In the tickets as well as the actual tickets that are available. There's too many questions that you start asking with it.
I don't want to be that guy, but I don't
want to be that guy.
I'm happy that they're counting their tickets, not like Crunchyroll, where they sell more tickets.
Yeah, that's true. So look, we'll be
not salty.
We'll be around the river bars and all that because their way won't be as full. Like the German clubs that there, like there's so many good venues that are going to be
fun
there
German
that
club.
Pop it into.
Yeah,
I like
stuff.
it.
We've
get
talked
Das
about
beer.
You got the Das Boot.
You can get Das Boot beer.
You get your Steins. You
Yes.
get
no,
your
no
big
beer
snitties.
for Aladi, though, just hard liquor.
No, are you kidding? I went to not that.
We can do both.
I went to another venue, same just different place, and it was for a Bucks party, and we did nothing but Steins, and we got so fucking rowdy, and it wasn't our fault, but the staff were egging us on to keep going. And they're like, people were like getting up on the table and like they were singing fucking shanties and shit and like throwing beer on each other. And the fucking staff came in and started throwing beer at us as well. And they're like, hell yeah! And people started smacking steins against each other. And I'm like, what is going on? What is this place?
Yep.
And then like I walked down, I was like $300 later. I'm like, that's why.
Is it technically doing a shoey if it's out of a beer?
Das Boot?
Like a boot stein?
Das Boot Shui.
That's a shoey, right?
Have you seen the? Is it Beer Fest? What's the movie? It's made by the Broken Lizard guys.
I think so, yeah.
And they do
That's
the
a
whole
good
thing
movie.
where you have to tilt the shoe to get the perfect drain of the boot.
Yeah, you got to tilt it. Yeah.
So there you go, Shelby. I think someone, there's a whole thing when they fall into a vat of beer and he drinks his way out of it. It's a fucking. I love the Broken Lizard guys so much.
For TGX, we don't have a budget for both of us to get drunk, so I'm gonna get a lot.
No, that's not true. I have a budget that can increase if I go to Crown first.
No.
Or be very reduced.
Or be very reduced. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention, all right, so this is the true story. There was a mate of mine who used to work in South Bank near Crown, and we were talking, we used to go to A-League matches all the time. So we went to an A-League match, and we caught up and we're chatting and stuff like that. Anyway, we were talking about like going to Crown and stuff, and he goes, oh yeah, no, I go to Crown all the time, like with the boys and drinks after work and whatever. And he's like, and I always just put money on 26 and I win every time. Like every time. He goes, 100% win rate. Like, interesting. It's like, okay, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, oh, I'm working. I'm like, yeah, well, what are you doing for lunch? And he's like, oh, yeah, we could go down. So we went down to Crown during my lunch break. I slapped fucking $10 on 26, won immediately, straight up. And it's like $400 or something. I'm just
Nutty.
like, that's rigged. What is this shit?
I think you found.
How many times have you tried that after that?
I've never gone back with him though. Like I think it's like
Him.
and like it's
you gotta bring him.
It's like the good omens where you have like I have to wear my dirty socks to win the football game sort of thing. It's like I have to go with that particular.
Is it roulette?
Yeah, we played roulette.
I watched this video and this guy, he's a dealer. He's got this like little gadget. Have you seen it?
No.
And he, as the ball gets near the number, he presses it and it jumps over 2 numbers.
Ooh, what?
Can we get one of these for next week?
I don't know. I was like, oh my god, is this thing real?
We need that.
These guys are ripping me off.
Oh man, I don't know. It was wild though because it's literally like a day's build up, and we got there and we won straight away, and I just left with money in my pocket. I'm like, this is great.
Nice.
But we could do that. Like, we could do that. We should take at least $10.
I hate how confident you sound right now.
We should take at least $10. It'll be a great story if we win.
Okay.
And if we lose, we never have to talk about it again.
If we join our money, we all put in $10.
No, you have to find that guy.
$40, and then you could win so much more.
Yeah,
you can do it with your money.
I don't know. I think it was more of I don't know. Like now, these days, I barely get a crown. But like when the first couple of years I was in Melbourne, I was like a crown like once a week, just vibing, either fucking go see a movie, hit the fucking roulette table, grab some food, everything else. It was part of the fucking crown club.
Just so much you could do there. That's why I always like being around there because it's just like there's so much to do.
And I remember like after like my first year in Melbourne, because I had like a deal where I used to go to Adelaide for New Year's, and then that next year they'll come to Melbourne. Like we had a group of friends. And I remember going to Adelaide for New Year's the next year, and it was like the saddest casino I've ever been in. Just like, this is not Crown. And Sydney's the same. You go in, it's really kind of sad.
Yeah, I dated.
Sydney, you just use it to launder your money. That's it.
Oh, okay. Is that what they're doing?
So at the Star Casino in Sydney, I dated a habitual gambler whose whole family gambled. It was like they thought it was sort of a fun thing. But now looking back, it was quite problematic, especially when his grandmother anytime you walked into Star Casino, she would be on a pokie machine. Anytime you could walk in there day or night, she'd be there somehow, like a magical little gambling wizard.
Even like the area that Star's in, it's all just kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty, but like I liked going there because they had gigantic cinnamon scrolls.
Oh.
So my partner at the time would be off like gambling and doing whatever, and I'd just be there devouring a cinnamon scroll. Like that was my part of the deal.
Where's the cinnamon scrolls?
Yeah, we had the cinnamon scrolls, and it was great. Except like his grandmother, he would give her his loyalty card. She racked up like enough of bets on the pokey machines to a point where we got like monthly free stays at the Star Casino hotel. We got access to lounges where we would have free endless drinks, and I mean like liquors. Like it was not just your house wines and beers.
Yeah, but how much did they spend though? Like it's not free, is it?
So then I would be in those lounges, and there's also like
it's free for Shelby.
Oh, free for Shelby.
Free for me. There's roulette machines in those lounges, and I'm just like dicking around, like, oh, here's $10, like whatever. The guy next to me is like in a business suit, and he's like betting like $10,000 a time. And he goes, "Do you want to press the button on this one?" And I said, "Yeah." And I slapped the button on his machine, and I lost it.
See, the thing is, right?
Yeah.
Take that. Eat the rich. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
But this is the thing, right? I see that shit all the time. Like, I just feel like going, "Hey, why don't for this turn I'll pretend to be the poker machine. I'll just take your money." 10 grand will go very far for me. It's like I'll take it. Like I remember sitting at roulette once, and someone put $35,000 down on the table in one spin and lost it all, and it just went down the hole. And I'm just like, that's half my year's earnings.
What's the reaction? Do they just not care? Right? Do they just like what was the reaction of that person?
Oh, he just got more money out.
They just got bad gambling.
Too much money.
Yeah.
God damn.
But like I don't like he literally just rocked up, just went boom, 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 put all this fucking money on the table, and it's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. And it just goes down the hole. The way it goes, and I'm just like,
bye money.
If he had gave me that, I would have done things for him. Like things I'm not proud of. Actually, I would have been proud of him for that price. It's like,
you know what?
I know you should be proud for that price.
For that price, very proud. Yeah.
See, at this point, there's things that you would do for not being proud for like $20. Like,
no, I'm not gonna lie.
Has their price. Yeah.
They say $20 is $20. But it's like because like when I moved to Melbourne as well, the train stopped at midnight. So if you were still out like partying, because the clubs stay open, but the trains to get home were and we didn't have Ubers. Ubers wasn't a thing back then. Yeah, shut up, I'm old. So
you don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. Like,
so it's like literally you'd come out of a club at 3 a.m. and there's just no taxis and there's no way home. So everyone just goes to Crown, and we'd just be fucking taking schooners and shit, sitting at the sports bar or whatever, and you just wait there till like 6 a.m. so you can get on the first train and go home. That was what we did.
It doesn't close.
That still happens today in Brisbane.
Yeah,
like our trains only run until like 12:30, and so you have the Fortitude Valley. Sit-in, the central sit-in, where people get their food and everyone's just in a line, just sitting outside the train station until like 5 a.m. when the first trains come. It's like we're back in the past up here, but
but happens. Well, it was a blessing and a curse because I used to live on the train line. So like when they like, oh, we're gonna make trains run all night, I'm like, fucking awesome. Fuck.
I feel casinos are part of like that strange limited amount of places that exist outside of time and space.
And
So
more.
you've got obviously airports exist out of time and space.
Yeah.
Most of them, like Avalon Airport, I wouldn't count because that's
You
like
say that, but we did
paddock.
tell the story on the podcast once when my plane was delayed and we came back to Melbourne Airport and it was closed.
Well, that's really weird. I'd say that's not the typical experience. So, like, airports and casinos are both outside of like the space and time for me.
Yeah.
That you go inside, you don't know what time it is. There's, especially in casinos, there's no fucking
So-
windows. Who the fuck knows?
Well, okay, so there's also look, COVID changed a lot of this. First of all, because Melbourne was becoming like the city that doesn't sleep for the longest time. Like shit would be open till
it's
midnight.
not hard when fucking
everywhere.
Wales has locked out laws.
Well, not only that, but like all the Kmarts went to 24 hours just before COVID. Because we had a 24-hour Kmart and that was out of space and time and it was a fucking wild place to be at 4 a.m. But there was a lot of people there. And then you have things like Chadstone, which the huge shopping center, which is just fucking enormous. Are like, oh, Christmas is coming up. We're not going to close for the next week. We'll just be open 24/7. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Hell.
And
Yeah.
I had friends that were working it there, and like I'm just like for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go check this out. And I'd be there at 3 a.m. and it's packed. You couldn't move at 3 a.m. Couldn't get a park, and it's like it's 2 days from Christmas. Not only that, I'm like, oh, this must be just people who are going for a cruise or whatever. Nah, people buying big ass TVs and shit. Like they're making purchases in the middle of the night. There's people signing up for a 24-month plan on their phone. I'm just like, this is fucking wild. Where I come from, if a shop was open past 5 p.m., it was amazing. It was like a fucking it's like an event that they celebrated for years in making. And here's people just like working 24/7, like it's normal day. And anyway, COVID just shut a lot of that shit down. And stuff is starting to open up a little bit more now. Like I noticed like Kmart's and stuff are now open at midnight, and like a lot of shopping stuff are opening up, and late night shopping sort of becoming a thing again. But like it also, lots of shops and shit disappeared during COVID. But that whole Crown is like COVID must have just killed Crown, because Crown's whole thing is I'm open all the time and there's something to do.
Yeah. My brother worked at Crown during COVID for the majority of the lockdowns.
I don't think gambling's a necessity.
No, it's not. So he was a bartender, and
It's
like
essential for the casino.
they
That's why
really
it's open.
struggled with
Yeah,
the
'cause
closures.
Even the Star City here, it was like shut for like weeks because like we were just in lockdown.
I wonder what my ex's grandma did during that time. She probably fucking almost died.
No, they would have started on the apps as well. They would have gotten the slots, on the app, so you can put in real money and lose money.
Yeah.
My mind went to, didn't Sydney have like the highest rate of just people making like illegal gatherings everywhere? Like they just would have started an illegal casino somewhere.
Yeah.
Or at
Underground
Bondi
poker hall.
Beach. They just
Bondi,
had
yeah.
massive fucking gathering,
She
massive
lived
party.
in Bondi. She had a Bondi
It's the
apartment.
Bondi party.
It's probably
Yeah,
her
no
fault.
one cares.
Yeah, and it's such a because I grew up in a shit town, right? I think it's made Shit Towns of Australia at least once. But I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to Crown, and my mum was like, what? 10 o'clock? We get stabbed. And I'm like, yeah, me and the other million people there. We're all going to get stabbed. It's like, and I remember when I took them for the first time there, and it was late. Like we'd gone and seen a movie in Gold Class and got some food and stuff, and we're walking out down, and there's just people everywhere. Like it was as packed as it normally is during the day, and they were just blown away. It's like, well, don't these people have like places to be? I'm like, yeah, they're here. This is the place to be. It's like this is it. It's like we get on a train. It's like you're not going to get stabbed on the train when you're packed in with 100 other people that can't move to stab you anyway. Like
Too many witnesses.
you just don't go down dark back alleys. If you, it's with
Definitely.
gold
That's just life
Rolexes
advice in general,
Yeah,
right?
it is. But it's like I don't know. It's just it's that whole. And I feel like Melbourne's getting back to that now, where it's kind of been a bit shaky thing, where people kind of like less people want to take trams and trains and stuff like that. And now they're just starting to get back in that habit of, hey, it is actually fucking easy to get on a tram rather than drive or catch an Uber. Especially Ubers now. Ubers are fucked.
Yeah.
I hate Ubers so much.
Yeah, even the Uber drivers say don't use Uber.
Oh,
Like that's like it's so much more expensive that they're still making money, so they don't care. But I'm in the Uber, like getting an Uber into the city or something, so it's going to be like $30-something dollars. And then they go, don't use Uber if you want to save money. Like I'm making money off you, but if you use DD or use one of the other ones that are up and coming, they'll be way cheaper because they're not.
So my Uber
that
ride into the
instead.
city can be as cheap as $10, but 5 p.m. on a Friday could be $70, $80, $90, $100.
That's when it's fucked, and that's
fucked. And then they cancel constantly on us. They're like, "Oh no, you fucking only going to the city.
So
You can wait 10 more minutes for
That'd
more
be the
surge."
worst,
Yeah.
living so close.
So
We'll
close.
basically we'll both have our phones out with 2 apps on each, like trying to get the one
Literally
coming
trying
down.
them all against each other. And literally like, this guy's got it, but he's 8 minutes away. Your guy's 6 minutes away. I think my guy's probably going to cancel. And then her guy cancels. Like, please don't, no, my guy, don't cancel. And the thing is that most of the time when we're trying to, it's like an event or something. So it's like, we're trying to get somewhere on time. So it's like, it's so pain in the ass. And then DD's great. Like, it's cheap. But also, like, when there's surge pricing going, those bastards are going for surge pricing. So it's like, yeah, he's coming. It's only cost you $10, but he'll be here in 48 minutes. Like, fuck
But
me.
they also give you a lot of coupons, which is the good point.
So it's all fucked.
I just want to have all the apps on my phone. I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, I don't want it to have all the
You have to have a
tracking
folder,
apps.
really.
So there was
Yeah.
one time where it started raining, so the surging was going crazy,
Oh,
right?
that was fucked.
So I was refusing to like cancel mine and start again. So I just kept searching
Oh.
at the cheap price, and eventually we got someone, and they picked us up. And then as they were driving, I could see that like he flicked open to another app to see what the pricing was, like the surge pricing, and he saw it, and he was just starting swearing to himself because he got us for fucking $20.
He also made a point of asking us to double checking where we're going, because I think he confused our trip with somebody else's.
Yeah, I think he had too many apps going trying to get the best price, and he accidentally took ours instead. And he's like, "Fuck, I think I was meant to get the other one for $70 or whatever." It's like,
Anyway,
fuck you guys, seriously.
At the end of the day, point is get a Mikey, take the tram. It's
Yeah, Melbourne's got great public
Definitely.
transport. Yeah.
So how are the taxis? Like, I was just thinking, like, when I walk around, there's plenty of taxis.
So
Are they just
taxis,
worse, or
so the like your main taxis. So if you wave down a
the
taxi,
yellow cab or whatever?
if you wave down a taxi,
Silver,
just don't. It's open season. It could be anything, right? But if you like use the app and do it all planned and pay for the app and stuff, totally fine. No worries. There's just not that many of them is the thing. And there's weird laws in Melbourne. Like I noticed, like when I went to Sydney, I'll call an Uber and a taxi turn up. And I was like, yeah, we can be both. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's weird. Where like in Melbourne,
wow.
you can't be both.
Wait, what happened?
In Sydney, I call an Uber, and sometimes a taxi driver rocks up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just in my spare time. I'm an Uber."
Them taxi drivers are sometimes scummy, bro.
It's my,
Yeah, that
but
sounds
my
like
thing
it.
is,
Uber.
you cannot do that in Melbourne. Like, so the taxi drivers, they're taxi drivers or Uber drivers. You can't be both. And
I think it's the same in Brizzy.
yeah, so
They have
it's all fucked.
distinctions,
Anyway, the one thing I did want to mention about Uber, they made a change recently, which I didn't know about, but I really love. You can now go back and see each of your trips and what they rated you individually.
Wait, really?
Oh, really?
5 people rate me 1 star. I'm like, what the fuck have I ever done to you?
Your
asshole?
score's better than mine somehow.
Yeah, I'm
Mine's
a 4.95 rating.
I'm a
great.
4.5.
I'm a 4.83. So
Well, I'm the
I've-
best. See,
I've had like 300 trips, I think, on
This
this.
motherfucker
say-
got lost on me the other day. He gave me 3 stars. What a cunt.
You got me lost, bro.
It
Jesus.
could be anything though. It could be like they are a talker and you weren't really a talker, or you talk too much and they didn't want to talk.
That's
or
not the
you-
deal.
You closed the door too hard, or they didn't like where you selected.
I
to
got
pick
in the
up
fucking
from.
car. I got out of the fucking car and I paid him. I did my job. 5 stars. It's like what? It's not like I vomited in him.
I rated him 5 stars. I can't see my own ratings. What the hell?
I had a friend that I have to keep calling Ubers for sometimes because she vomited in the back of an Uber several years ago and got banned.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I can go back now and just actually see the.
They've got cleaning services, which is great. Like they've got cleanings ones for Uber. So if someone voms in your car, I was talking to one of the drivers.
$700 though.
It's but that's the thing is the Uber will go and you
Clean
get
it.
out of the car. He goes to a cleaner. They clean it straight away, like fully disinfect and do it whatever it is, and then they just keep driving, and that bill will get charged to the trip.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. It's a whole thing. Anyway, we're catching trams again. I taught Shelby how to get on the trams properly, seeing as it's
I know
post-COVID times.
tram now.
How do
You didn't
get
know
it
tram?
wrong?
No, it's more the fact that get on this tram here, switch here, go here. If you
Oh,
need to go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I
True.
have
Okay.
I also have dyscalculia, which is math dyslexia, and one of the big symptoms of that a lot of people experience is difficulty with public transport. So mapping out journeys, reading maps, understanding timetables and stuff is really hard for me. And
Yeah.
I still
Also,
struggle
like,
with my app.
it's been a while since because I used to be a public transport fiend, obviously, because I hated driving in the city because I was a country boy. But it's like back then, if you got on a tram, you get on a tram and there's no air conditioning and all the windows are open, shit's blowing everywhere, and then when I pull up to a stop, you hear, it's like, oh, is that my stop? And then the drives off. It's like, fuck, that was my stop. Now it's like, bing, and coming up now, the tram will be turning left. Get off here if you are heading to Spencer Street Station. It's like,
Yet I still get lost.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, we still go like, oh, we get off here.
It's probably a good thing I wasn't born any earlier. I'd struggle.
The only
with
one thing that
life.
hasn't changed on trams and everything is there are some funky smells.
And funky people.
Yeah.
I love
Hey,
seeing
He
yeah.
smells funky people. Yep.
That could be an
love seeing
album.
the people who are like clearly on something, but they also have a tinny in their hand, sitting on the tram, like talking shit and saying weird stuff and mumbling to themselves, and then you're waiting for them to get off because you're like, maybe this guy might shank
There
me.
was that guy that just
Don't
walking
make eye
down.
contact. Just like fucking stare. I'm very interested in this poll. I'm going to read this advertisement 47 times.
Never look a crackhead in the eye.
There was definitely
No,
this
never make eye
guy
contact.
just in his jocks, just on the middle of the road, just walking out in front of the tram, like, look, Shelby, crackhead.
yeah. Yeah. It was,
To the left, we have a crackhead.
I want to be mindful of time, but while we're talking about that subject, I want to talk about the Shit Towns of Australia. I want to keep that streak going.
All right, let's get that going because we've got to wrap up soon. But yes, go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
So, the Shit Towns of Australia power rankings. Number 10 is Potpourri, still
shit,
South
and will be
Australia.
forever.
Oh shit.
Yep. Number 9 is Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. Gronk hides from the police in his fridge.
Hey, works for Indiana
I wonder how he
Jones.
did that. I want to read more. Because I'm wondering, maybe did like he pull out the contents of the fridge and climb in, and they were just like, I wonder where he is. They walk in, and there's just food. All
I mean,
over
who
the floor.
checks the
I
fridge?
think that he probably just put everything out and put it on the bench and like just hid it in there, expected not to
Yeah.
get found.
I just keep thinking if you've seen the movie Joker when he has that like breakdown and he just takes everything out of the fridge and just gets in the fridge and it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a mood.
Number 8 is Gold Coast, Queensland. Male and
Woo!
female drivers brawling in the middle of the road.
Oh,
Wild
Yep.
context.
Gold Coast is a hole.
Yeah. Cairns, Queensland. Methed up rapper steals can of oysters and punches IGA staff in the head.
Jesus
Wait, what was that?
Christ.
A methed up rapper steals cans of oysters and punches IGA staff in the head. First of all, canned oysters is like a low bar. That's like,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
can think of no less appetizing sentence than that.
Yep.
Queensland is on here a lot this week. So
Go Queensland.
Let's go.
Go
Go
Queensland.
Queenslander. Queenslander.
Number 6, Rockhampton, Queensland. Thieves disguised as workers ransack a mail centre for packages.
Oh,
Very nice.
that's
Yep.
very sus. Bit of a
5, Inkerman, Queensland. Cowardly couple carjack and assault an 85-year-old man.
Jesus Christ.
Queenslander. Yeah.
I guess you can't guess where the next one is as well.
Is it Queensland?
It's Townsville, Queensland.
I think she's looked up
Nice.
shit towns of Queensland.
Pair of 10-year-old kids crash a stolen car in the main road, and a Gronk borrowed a flatmate's car, then sends video of it burning.
Oh!
Oh, bro.
That's rough. So now we're leaving Queensland. So number 3 is Portland, Victoria. Woman was sentenced for robbing a dead friend, and mayor accused of bringing booze to an alcohol-free youth event.
Both in the same
Amazing.
week?
Jesus.
Both in the same week.
Go Portland.
Nice. Woohoo.
Number 2, Adelaide, South Australia. A woman allegedly tries to run over partner because he ate one of her chips.
I saw
didn't
that.
see that.
Oh
Hell-
yeah, I saw that too.
Oh.
I understand.
And then
really.
you know what the next thing, right? So husband basically stole her chip, and then they have an argument. He gets out, she gets behind the wheel, tries to run him over, and then she's like, "No, I was actually trying to go to the police station. I just got my pedals mixed up." And then he's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have stole the chip. That's my
Yeah,
bad."
he's just
Yeah,
like,
he was like,
yeah, I
Then-
shouldn't have taken
then-
the chip. I thought she was finished.
She goes to court, and he goes supports her, and then they have a Barney in the courthouse, and he storms out as well.
I
They
don't
shouldn't be
understand
together.
people.
I don't think the chip's the problem, people.
They're just
Although you-
keeping it toxic.
You do
Yep.
react when I take one of your chips. Like, yeah, a bit mad.
Yeah, but if I had a car, yeah, I'd run you over.
Oh, good thing we take trams.
Good thing you're a VTuber.
Yeah. I remember from Archer, the scientist Krieger, and he has an anime waifu hologram lady.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I have.
That's literally what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys just need to do that as a cosplay.
So Adelaide, South Australia hasn't finished yet, so there's still more.
Oh,
going
okay.
on there.
Sorry.
Learner driver busted doing 253 kilometers per hour. And
Wow.
a possum on power lines gets electrocuted and sparks a grass fire.
That happens a
There you
bit,
go.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess.
What was that speed again? 200 and
253.
253?
Yeah,
a
he's
bus.
a learner driver.
A learner driver. What does it say? What car?
No, just
I think because
busted.
some cars don't go that
Oh,
fast.
busted. Yeah.
Busted. Yeah,
Busted.
not a
Yeah,
bus,
Yeah, that's
thank
maxing
God.
out the. That's maxing out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think the
kilometers
numbers
right
are even on there anymore. It's
Yeah.
just
I guess, bet you can't guess where the next one is. Number 1.
Number one.
Queensland.
Queensland?
No, it's New South Wales. So
Ah.
and I saw this one as well. Mum was filmed for making her baby vape.
What?
What?
Yeah, so she was filmed making her baby vape on a
What?
e-cig.
Why would you film that?
What the
I don't
fuck
know.
is wrong with
Clout
people?
for
I'm
clout,
pretty
guys,
sure it
for the
was
likes.
posted to TikTok and Facebook, like by her. So it's pretty wild.
But why?
No clue. Something's wrong with
No
people. Some
idea.
people shouldn't make babies.
Oh my
Don't
god!
know,
If you ever have a question that
Like-
people can think about shit before they do shit.
Yep.
Oh my
There,
god!
there was a thing from a comedian that was just like, what was it? Ordering pizza is actually harder than making a baby. And someone called him out for it. It's like, I've never accidentally ordered a pizza. That was his entire
Oh, that's
defense.
good.
And I was like,
Hmm.
he's got a point.
Got a point.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've accidentally been drunk and ordered a pizza, but I've also
Yes.
there's the possibility of accidentally getting drunk and making a baby. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it checks
That's
out.
actually-
Logic checks out.
checks-
Yeah.
The pizza just doesn't randomly arrive on your doorstep.
Ah,
but,
boy, I
you
wish
know,
it did.
I wish it did, yeah.
I wish it did.
God, imagine have
That's
sex
it,
9
that's-
months later, a pizza rocks up.
That better be a good pizza if you wait 9 months for it.
If you don't know
Holy.
what's coming,
I
it's
wasn't
surprise
expecting
pizza.
that
I mean, I bought you a pizza today.
And it's gone. It was delicious.
Mm.
God, I even said we'll have some, get extra large, I'll have some tomorrow. It did not last. That was fucking
No.
delicious. Anyway, that's it. When I have pizza and alcohol on my side, I can do anything.
Mm.
It's
Superfoods. That's what superfoods
It's
really are.
100% correct.
Hell
even
yeah.
even when when we were playing like New World and stuff like that, and the guy's like, "Oh, we've got who's going to organize? Got a war coming up or whatever." And like it sounds silly because it's a game, but it's also trying to get 50 human beings to cooperate at a particular time of the day, at a day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone come to this point and cooperate, and it's like no one ever wants to do that, right?
No.
And then I did it like twice, and each time they said, "You fucking nailed it." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I had pizza." It's the only reasons I get if pizza in. I'm good to go. But
Keep you
I can
fed.
Ready.
organize this.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's like people don't understand the power of just getting fed. Like it solves a lot of problems.
Pizza's a very good food for energy though, because it's
It's
like
not even
carbs,
that,
but
just
it's also
like-
tons of protein. Like it
If
gets you
everyone's
going.
having like a shit day and everyone's grouchy or whatever, just stop, have some food, and then think about it because you'll be good.
You're not
Being
you when you're
hangry isn't a
hungry.
fucking
Hangry
thing.
is a thing. It's a
Yeah.
Have a feed, have a wank, have a think, and then do things.
A wank of clarity.
It's just you just
A
gotta.
wank for clarity, exactly.
You're,
Clear the mind.
You could almost
Yep.
make a checklist, right? It's like, okay, I'm not feeling too good. All right, have I had a wank today? Have I had pizza? See, I tick them all off,
Like
and if you're
drunk
still
water.
feeling bad at the end, then maybe see a doctor. But it's like,
Yeah. Then maybe you're entitled to feel bad. Things could be going on. That's
I
fine.
could just
But
see
you
it.
got to do the checklist first.
I could just see it now. WebMD, you put in your symptoms like, have you had a wank today?
Is that the title of the podcast? I don't think
Oh.
you're right.
Please leave in the comments below. No.
It's funny because
Any
if you called
wankers
the
in
podcast,
chat? Yeah.
if you called the podcast that, people won't get any context until an hour and 40 minutes in.
We've done that
Exactly.
before. I mean,
We're baiting them, all right? We're baiting
Yeah.
them.
I can't remember the one that Frog destroyed, that podcast. It was like, I just gave it, it was just a normal podcast, and then I just wrote at the end of it, then there was Frog. Because at about 2 hours into it, it just takes a sharp right turn off a cliff, and everyone goes, what the fuck?
And it was a good episode
It was
until
a
that
great
point.
episode. The Frog just went, hey, you want to almost get cancelled? It's like-
Yeah.
Anyway, for the OGs, they'll know exactly what it is. For everyone else, I kind of hit a lot of those old podcasts now, so we've been doing cleaning house. So if you missed out on the Frog one, well, we'll just have to one day Frog will appear on the
And tell you the
podcast,
story.
and no, we will never repeat that story.
Frog will just appear in person.
That
and
story
then you
gave
can
me
be regaled with the
nightmares.
My
Nightmares
nightmares repeat that story. Yeah.
That was like, sometimes when you watch a TV show and it might be like a medical show and like, oh fuck, they showed that. I didn't think they were going to show
Yeah.
it. That's Frog. It's like it's just like, oh fuck, he said that. I didn't think he was going to say that.
Yeah.
Trigger warning: Frog's on the show. No,
Yep.
we should definitely wrap it up. We're going to do no Frog left turns today or right turns or whatever the fuck that was. We're going to wrap up nice and clean. We're not sure exactly what's happening with the podcast. It might be a live thing. It might be a recorded thing. It might be a recorded from the show thing. We honestly don't know because no one knows what's happening next weekend. But we will let you know as soon as we know. But for now, let's go around the room. Shelby, you're streaming after this?
I'm streaming after this, so those in the Twitch chat will be reading into me, but also I'm posting daily content on YouTube and TikTok. ShellBunny94, TikTok ShellBunny on YouTube, and ShellBunny on Twitch.
Play Hitman, yeah?
Yeah.
Hitman.
Hell
Come
yeah.
find me at
Of the
TGX if you want one of my business cards.
Oh yeah,
Have a
if you come to
waifu in your
TGX,
wallet.
say hello. What's it? 4 p.m. Saturday for Timo, See me, and Koshi are on that one for the Timo
I'll
See
be in the
panel.
crowd.
And
Yeah,
then
or come see us at 5 p.m. outside where you don't even need a TGX pass.
and hell
we'll
yeah,
basically organize and have
come have some food and come have some drinks with us as well.
Yeah, come drink and eat food with us.
Come to Melbourne, come hang out in Melbourne, or move to Melbourne,
Aim,
like
come
all the
to
cool
Melbourne.
people. Tame, you've also been streaming some Hitman.
Yeah. Streaming some Hitman.
Most aggressive
as
runs
fuck.
I've ever seen of Hitman. Just
Aim Moses at
What
Twitch.
is stealth? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a good assassin.
I think he
We're
still
equally-
thought
I'm
he was
not very
playing Metal
stealthy.
Gear.
But I can kill.
As long as no one's alive to tell the story, then you're stealthy as all you can be, right?
Absolutely. Koshi, I know you got in last minute, but your podcast's been popping off. I've been listening weekly.
Oh, love it.
I just want you to dive deeper into Kick because kick.com is just fucking juicy stuff.
Yeah, I really want to actually do a deep dive on it at some point. I just want it to develop a little bit more. But yeah, I do game reviews, I do podcasting, all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. You got a spiritual podcast. Where'd you do it?
Yeah, because of course, what we need on the internet is more straight white men with opinions, and mine are right though. That's the difference there. So head
Wow,
over
you're
to.
so different from most straight white
I know, right? I'm on YouTube. I don't do Twitch or stuff anymore, but Koshify, so KOCHIEFY. Game reviews. We do a fortnightly podcast with the friend Kamikaze, where we talk about content creation and just gaming news, and then tangents upon tangents that somehow work their way into a segue into the next topic where we get to our point.
Yeah,
So
it's lots of diverging and then segueing back, and it's pretty much it.
And we're on Spotify now as well, so check out Redundant Opinions, which is us, and give us a follow, like, and subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Hell yeah, I'd love
I'll
to.
also be at TGX.
Hell yeah, and Cammy's gonna be there as well.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live recording of the podcast. I don't know how that's gonna work at the moment, whether it's gonna be at our apartment or
Something
something at a bar. Can we talk to a bar and go, hey, can we just record a podcast here? Like, I got a laptop set up and we're just going to use our cameras and do it.
Well, we'll all figure out how to make some form of content by the time next week. We are at this point completely at the mercy of TGX to tell us what the fuck's going on.
We're raw talking TGX.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you all next week with some TGX stories, no doubt. And thanks for hanging out. And good luck for the next week for everyone, I guess.
Bye-bye.
Literally, good luck.
Laters.
That's it. Good luck.
Good luck. Hope you make it.
Bye.
I gotta run now.